What if I told you that one simple fruit, something you can buy at any grocery store for just a couple of dollars, could be quietly protecting your eyesight while you sleep? Not eye drops, not expensive supplements, not a prescription. A fruit. One that most seniors already know about, but almost nobody is eating at the right time of day. I am Dr. Nova Blake, and I have spent over 30 years in medicine focused on the health of adults over 60. I have seen too many patients lose their vision to conditions that were entirely preventable. And one of the biggest surprises from the research I am about to share with you today is how much the timing of what you eat matters just as much as what you eat. So before you go to bed tonight, stay with me, because what I am about to tell you could literally save your sight. Why senior eye health deserves serious attention. According to the World Health Organization, there are currently over 2.2 billion people worldwide living with some form of vision impairment. And the sad truth? More than half of those cases could have been prevented or have not yet been adequately addressed. After the age of 60, the risk of developing serious eye conditions goes up dramatically. We are talking about age-related macular degeneration, the leading cause of vision loss in adults over 60. Cataracts, which cloud the lens of your eye and cause blurry, dim vision. By age 75, half of all Americans have cataracts. Glaucoma, which slowly destroys the optic nerve, often without any warning symptoms until the damage is already done. And diabetic retinopathy, which can cause complete blindness if not managed properly. I know those words sound scary, but here is the good news. Your eyes are not just passively aging. They are constantly being either protected or damaged by the choices you make every single day, including what you eat. The human eye is one of the most metabolically active organs in the body. It needs a constant supply of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals to fight off the oxidative stress that builds up from years of light exposure, screen use, and normal aging. And here is the part that most doctors do not spend enough time explaining. Certain nutrients are absorbed differently by the body depending on when you consume them. Sleep is a powerful time for cellular repair, and the nutrients circulating in your blood during those nighttime hours are being put to work repairing everything, including your eyes. That is why what you eat before bed matters more than most people realize. The science your eyes depend on. Let me walk you through some of the science so you understand why this fruit works, not just that it does. Your eyes rely heavily on two families of nutrients to stay healthy. The first family is carotenoids. These are plant-based pigments, the same ones that make fruits and vegetables yellow, orange, and red. The two most important carotenoids for eye health are lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds deposit directly into the macula, which is the central part of your retina, responsible for sharp, detailed vision. They act as internal sunglasses, filtering out harmful blue light and neutralizing free radicals before they can damage the delicate photoreceptor cells in your eye. A landmark study called AREDS2, conducted by the National Eye Institute, found that higher levels of lutein and zeaxanthin in the diet were significantly associated with a reduced risk of advanced macular degeneration. The second family is anthocyanins. These are powerful antioxidants found in deep-colored fruits and berries. Research published in the journal Nutrients showed that anthocyanins support blood flow to the retina, reduce inflammation in the eye tissues, and may even help with night vision and visual fatigue. There is also vitamin C. The aqueous humor, the fluid inside your eye, actually contains one of the highest concentrations of vitamin C of any fluid in the human body. Vitamin C protects the lens of the eye from oxidative damage, which is one of the primary causes of cataracts, and vitamin A with beta-carotene. Vitamin A is essential for producing rhodopsin, the pigment in your eyes that allows you to see in low-light conditions. A deficiency in vitamin A is one of the most common preventable causes of blindness in the world. The fruit, blueberries. The fruit I am recommending is blueberries. Before you say, "Doctor, I already knew blueberries were good for me," I want you to stay with me, because most people have no idea how powerful these little berries are, specifically for the aging eye. And almost nobody is eating them at the right time of day. Let me tell you about a real patient of mine. I will call her Dorothy. Dorothy was 68 years old, a retired librarian from Phoenix, Arizona, when she came into my office complaining that her night vision was getting worse. She was having trouble driving after dark, and she had noticed that her eyes felt tired and strained by midday. Her eye doctor had told her she was in the early stages of macular degeneration. Dorothy was already taking a multivitamin, so she assumed she was covered nutritionally. But when I looked at her diet, there was almost no fruit, no berries, no deep-coloured produce at all. I put her on a simple protocol. 1 cup of fresh or frozen blueberries every evening, about 1 hour before bed. I also adjusted a few other things in her diet. 6 months later, her follow-up eye exam showed no further progression of the macular degeneration. Her night vision had improved, and she told me, and I remember her exact words, "Doctor, my eyes just feel less tired." Is that 100% from the blueberries alone? Probably not. But the evidence strongly supports that she was right to credit them significantly. Why blueberries are so extraordinary for senior eye health. First, they contain some of the highest concentrations of anthocyanins of any food on the planet. These anthocyanins bind to the proteins in the rhodopsin cycle, which is the biochemical process your eyes use to see in dim light, and they help regenerate visual purple faster after light exposure. This is why blueberries were actually studied by the British Royal Air Force during World War II to improve pilots' night vision. That is not folklore. That is documented history confirmed by modern science at the molecular level. Second, blueberries are loaded with lutein and zeaxanthin, those macular protective carotenoids I mentioned earlier. Third, they are an excellent source of vitamin C, with 1 cup providing about 14 milligrams, enough to make a meaningful contribution to the vitamin C levels in your aqueous humour. Fourth, they contain pterostilbene, a compound that has been shown in studies to reduce inflammation in eye tissues and potentially slow the progression of diabetic retinopathy. Why before bed is the optimal time? Let us talk about the timing, because this is the part most health videos completely skip over, and it is absolutely critical. Your body goes through a profound repair cycle during sleep. Between the hours of roughly 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., if you are sleeping, your body releases the highest levels of growth hormone and engages in its deepest cellular repair work. The retina, which is actually brain tissue, an extension of your central nervous system, is undergoing its own maintenance and repair during this window. Melatonin, which your brain produces during darkness and sleep, is not just a sleep hormone. Research from the journal Molecular Vision has shown that melatonin receptors are present in the retinal cells, and melatonin itself acts as an antioxidant that protects photoreceptor cells from oxidative damage. When you eat blueberries 1 hour before bed, the anthocyanins and antioxidants enter your bloodstream and are actively circulating during this peak repair window. Your body is essentially being given the raw materials it needs exactly when it is ready to use them. Compare that to eating blueberries with breakfast. During the day, your body is in a more activated state, burning energy, managing stress, dealing with blue light exposure. The antioxidants from morning blueberries are being used up faster and distributed across many competing demands in the body. Before bed, your metabolism slows, digestion is gentle, and those nutrients can be directed toward repair, including the repair of your retinal cells. There is also a practical benefit for seniors specifically: blood sugar. Blueberries have a very low glycemic index of about 53, meaning they do not cause the blood sugar spikes that many nighttime snacks do. For seniors managing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this makes blueberries one of the safest possible evening snacks. Let me tell you about another patient. I will call him Edward. Edward was 72, a retired engineer from Columbus, Ohio, and a type 2 diabetic. His greatest fear was losing his vision to diabetic retinopathy, which had already taken the sight of his older brother. When Edward started eating half a cup of frozen blueberries about an hour before bed each night, not only did he notice improvement in his sleep quality, which surprised him, but his next ophthalmology appointment showed stable retinal health for the first time in 3 years. His endocrinologist was also pleased to see that his fasting blood sugar had improved slightly, likely due to the fiber in the blueberries slowing overnight glucose absorption. These are real outcomes, not miracles, just consistent nutrition working with your body's natural rhythms. How much to eat and how. Based on the available research, I recommend between half a cup and 1 full cup of blueberries per day for eye health benefits. For the specific purpose of nighttime eye repair, aim for that serving in the 1 to 2 hours before you go to sleep. Fresh versus frozen. Frozen blueberries may actually be more nutritious than fresh in some cases. Blueberries are typically frozen very quickly after harvest at peak ripeness. This process locks in the anthocyanins and other antioxidants. Fresh blueberries that have been sitting in a store or your refrigerator for several days can lose a significant portion of their nutrient content. So do not feel guilty about buying the frozen bag. It is excellent. Wild blueberries versus cultivated. Wild wins. Wild blueberries are smaller and contain up to twice the antioxidant content of the larger cultivated varieties. If you can find wild blueberries at your store, choose those. Can you eat them in a smoothie? Yes, absolutely. Just be mindful of what else you add. Avoid high sugar additions before bed. What about blueberry juice? Steer away from juice as your primary source. Most commercial blueberry juices are diluted, high in added sugar, and stripped of the fiber that helps regulate how the antioxidants are absorbed. Whole berries or frozen berries are always superior. Companion nutrients that amplify the benefits. Blueberries are the star of today's conversation, but let me briefly mention a few companion strategies that amplify their effects on eye health. Omega-3 fatty acids. The retina has one of the highest concentrations of DHA of any tissue in the body. Foods like salmon, sardines, walnuts, and flaxseed help maintain the structural integrity of retinal cell membranes. Leafy greens. Kale, spinach, and collard greens are among the richest dietary sources of lutein and zeaxanthin. If you can combine a serving of leafy greens at dinner with your blueberries before bed, You are building a very strong nutritional foundation for eye health. Eggs. Do not be afraid of eggs. The yolk contains lutein and zeaxanthin in a form that is exceptionally bioavailable. Studies have shown that eating even 1 or 2 eggs per day can meaningfully raise the levels of lutein and zeaxanthin in the blood. Staying hydrated. The eyes depend on adequate hydration to produce tears and maintain the health of the cornea. Many seniors are chronically mildly dehydrated and do not realize it. Aim for at least 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. And one more critical point. Protect your eyes from blue light. Whether it is sunlight, UV exposure, or the blue light from screens, cumulative light damage is a major driver of macular degeneration. Wearing sunglasses with UV protection outdoors and reducing screen time in the hour before bed, in addition to eating your blueberries, is a combination that gives your eyes the best possible chance. Common myths addressed. Myth 1. My vision is already bad, so nutrition cannot help me. Not true. Even if you have already been diagnosed with early macular degeneration or cataracts, nutrition can slow progression. It is never too late. Myth 2. I take an eye vitamin, so I do not need to change my diet. Supplements are helpful, but they are not replacements for whole food nutrition. The phytonutrients in blueberries cannot be fully replicated in a pill. Food first, supplement second. Myth 3. Eating blueberries will reverse my cataracts. No fruit reverses cataracts. Once significant, surgical removal is the only correction. However, the antioxidants in blueberries may meaningfully slow the rate at which cataracts develop. Myth 4. Blueberries have too much sugar for diabetics. Blueberries have a low glycemic index and are recommended by most diabetic dietitians as one of the safest fruits. Half a cup to 1 cup is generally very well tolerated. Why the macula suffers first. The macula is a small area at the center of the retina, about 5 millimeters in diameter. It is responsible for the central sharp vision you use to read, drive, recognize faces, and see fine details. When the macula deteriorates, these abilities are the first to go. The macula is exposed to enormous amounts of light over a lifetime. Every time you look at something, light concentrates right there. And light, especially the high-energy blue light from screens and direct sunlight, produces free radicals that damage the photoreceptor cells. Lutein and zeaxanthin accumulate specifically in the macula, forming what researchers call macular pigment. The denser this pigment, the greater the protection against macular degeneration. And the most direct way to increase macular pigment density is through diet, specifically through foods rich in lutein and zeaxanthin consumed regularly. The night vision mechanism. The anthocyanins in blueberries accelerate the regeneration of rhodopsin. This is a documented biochemical process. The anthocyanins bind to the proteins of the rhodopsin cycle and increase the speed of reconstitution. This is why British pilots during World War II consumed blueberries to improve night vision. It was empirical intuition that modern science then confirmed at the molecular level. Eating blueberries in the evening provides these anthocyanins during the hours when the rhodopsin cycle is most active. During sleep, when the eyes are not exposed to light, and the regeneration process can proceed undisturbed. Your eyesight is precious. Once it is gone, no amount of money or regret brings it back. But the beautiful truth is that protecting your vision does not have to be complicated or expensive. Half a cup to 1 cup of blueberries, fresh or frozen, 1 hour before you go to bed. That is it. That is the prescription. Pair it with leafy greens, healthy fats, UV protective sunglasses, and regular eye exams, and you are giving your eyes everything they need. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you have any family history of eye problems like cataracts, glaucoma, or macular degeneration? Just type eyes in the comments. I read everything you share. If this video helped you, please share it with a senior you love. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do that now and turn on notifications. Take care of yourself. I will see you in the next one.